everybody, and welcome back to Full Throttle with the Gent. I am your host, Brandon the Gent. So, it's Wednesday. I did take off the day from yesterday because I had to do something for my racing league and get that prepared, the car prepared and whatnot. Plus, the Nascar race wasn't even until Monday due to rain, so it kind of got all messed up. Let it be known right off the bat with NASCAR news that NASCAR is off this weekend. I will still try to do a full throttle for, I believe the Whalen Modified Series is running this weekend, and that's my primary concern. So whenever they run, I want to talk about them. Okay. We do have little news, not much. Race was a very uneventful race, in my opinion. Very conveyor belt type racing. They were all single file until probably the last bit or so, and even then, they weren't really racing. You could not catch the 22 car. Late caution, and they still couldn't catch them, and they had fresher tires. So, I don't know. Clint Boyer said it the best. I have never been penalized for wanting to pass in my whole entire racing career since I was 4 years old. So there is a aerodynamic parachute, pretty much. So as soon as you get out of line, out of the draft, pulls you right back. I have never worked on these race cars, so I can't give an opinion or facts about them. The cars that I worked with back in 2009, we didn't have complaints. You know, we fans complained about NASCAR, don't get me wrong, but the cars were perfect. I love those cars. They were good race cars. So anyway, the NASCAR news only post-race penalties, to be honest with you. And that were the 41 of Suarez and the 37 of Chris Buescher. Okay, they had lug nut penalties. So $10,000 fine to each team. That's it. Everyone was on the straight and narrow. The news today, which I'm glad I waited today too, because penalties came out and other news. The only other news that I have for NASCAR is the Napa throwback scheme. So Chase Elliott posted his picture of the throwback scheme, which you can see here. It is a Bill Elliott throwback to 1981 when he was driving the Melling car. And it looks amazing. The Hendrick Motorsports Chase Elliott team did a good job with it. I look forward to seeing that on the track in September. So it's that time now. People are going to start releasing these more and more. And it's like, that's one race I want to go to. I do want to go to the Daytona race in July. That's still up in the air, though. The only thing else I have to mention NASCAR-wise was Jeff Gluck. He did it again. Now, I've said it time in and time out. If you've never worked in the sport, never turned a wrench, never drove a race car, never called a race or whatever, you should not be talking about the sport that you're in. If you've never thrown a baseball, hit a ball with a bat in baseball, you shouldn't be talking about baseball. If you haven't thrown a football, tackled anybody or anything like that, you shouldn't do it. And so on and so on. Okay? You're not experts if all you know is history and stats. You're an expert if you've worked in it. Okay? So, I know NASCAR, I've worked in it, and I know how the cars handle. These newer cars, I don't have a thing in, so I will never talk about them in the way of knowing anything. So here's Jeff Gluck, okay? Puts his foot in his mouth by saying, we really don't need these mandatory cautions after rainouts and whatnot. If you don't know how your car's handling after the first stage or whatever he said, you shouldn't be out there, or you have more problems than you do. Really. And I took offense to it because he doesn't know what he's talking about. But here's the thing. Here's the vindication of me. Corey LaJoie, Denny Hamlin, Michael McDowell all jumped on him. Saying, actually, you can read the tweets here. I mean, look at that. I know what I'm talking about. All right? And here I am, not getting paid, except for the 3 month sponsorship from Route 1 Auto Service, which I'm very grateful for. And this guy's making a career out of it. Shut up! That's all we got to say about that. All right? Shut up! Don't, if you talk about what's going on in the race and what you see. Not what you think is best. We don't care what you think is best. No one cares what I think is best. Okay? They want to know what we know, what happened, and that's it. NASCAR media needs to get this through their head, cut out the opinion crap, and let's get on with it. That's my rant for this thing. I haven't ranted in a while on this, but when you see stupid people like this making a career out of it and this and that, we don't care. Okay? And you look stupid. Anywho. So here, let's move on. All right, let's move on. Let's look at NASCAR race results from Michigan. Okay, everybody, here's the race results from the 51st Annual Firekeepers Casino 400. Joe Logano got the win. Kurt Busch second. Third was Martin Truex Jr. Fourth, Daniel Suarez. Fifth, Kyle Busch. Sixth, Brad Keselowski. Seventh, Kevin Harvick after a devastating day. Eighth, Ryan Newman. Ninth, Ryan Blaney. 10th was Alex Bowman. I'll leave the rest up so you can see where your favorite driver has finished in the yesterday's race. All right, there is your NASCAR race results from Michigan. Let's look at the points after Michigan's race. Okay, everybody, here is the points report after the Michigan race. Joe Logano back up on top. Kyle Busch back to second. Brad Keselowski third. Kevin Harvick fourth. Chase Elliott fifth. Martin Truex Jr. sixth. Denny Hamlin seventh. Eighth, Kurt Busch. Ninth, Ryan Blaney. And 10th, Alex Bowman. I will leave this up for you so you can see where your favorite driver is in the points. And we'll move on. Okay. Last night, Gent Nation, thank you so much for coming out in full support for me at the live race at Michigan. It was so fun. Absolutely had a really good car. It was tight in practice so I worked on my car throughout the week and yesterday. And, no, actually 2 days ago. So the car was good. I was running decent lap times for myself, in that league. And, it's fine. So I got into the practice with everybody. We were all getting our cars worked on. I was getting in the draft. And when I was in the draft, my car was really tight. So I was like, okay, I can't have this. I'm going to be killing my right side tires. My left rear is already getting too hot from just normal running. Let me see what I can do. Okay. So I went to the garage in the setupable section and I was working on my front sway bar. I lowered the front sway bar 2 clicks down. Okay. And it loosened up the car in the draft. Car was a lot faster. I was running my fastest lap times. What else did I do? No, I didn't do... Nope. I only worked on my front sway bar. I was going to say I thought I moved my weight around in the car, but I didn't. It was just a front sway bar. So the race car was good. I started in the back. My qualifying setup was garbage. So I qualified 16th. There was 33 cars in the field. Worked all up to the mid pack. I was 13th, for a little bit. 13th, 12th. Green flag stops commenced. I got up to 8th, and that was pretty good for me in the Cup Series that we do. And I stayed there for most of the night, in the top 10. And then last 2 laps, Rob Keller in the 57 Chevy got around me, and he got 10th. I finished 11th. Let's actually look at the race results. So Herman Reese gets his win again. Kyle Jules in the 029 second. Caleb Lingle in the third. Fourth, Fugate. Fifth, Kevin Roy. Sixth, Ricky Johnson. Seventh, Roger Nebelsick. Eighth, Jeff Stakanis. Ninth, Jason San Diego. 10th, Rob Keller. And then 11th was me. There's the finishing order from last night. It was pretty good. Let's actually take a look at the at clips of the race right now. Okay, everybody. So here it is. Cars are rolling off. The Full Velocity Racing Network, your source for esports racing, was live last night with the Hobo Racing League. Brendan the Gent, was in this race. I just went by in the number 37 McDonald's Ford Mustang. It was a very good race. 33 cars were in the field. And here we all rolling off. The chat box was lit up like crazy with Gent Nation and other fans of the drivers. Fans for Rich Napick, Danny and Steve Rubino. There's actually Steve's car here. A little quick look that they're doing here just before we go green. Now, it was a really good race. Wasn't long at all. Had a few cautions. We'll show them in a second here. Just let me get that taken care of. But here's the first caution of the night. The 61. He got loose right in front of the 21 Steve here, behind the 77 of Kevin Roy. And there he goes. Just loose. I am not controlling the camera, by the way. That was from the live broadcast. But Steve hard in the wall, only on lap 5 with the 61. And there I go. Oh, Cliff. I didn't even notice Cliff spun. I see the 24 spun back there. Wow, those good hard hits. Second caution of the night, the 04 in his Grizzly Camaro. Waiting for old Todd Stanton here to hit the go button. There he goes. So it looks like it just got loose. Yeah, it just went right around on him. Came up. Almost collected on the driver. There's Cliff going by. But unfortunately, the 66 and the 4 got together. We'll see that here in a second. There it is. They wanted the same real estate and didn't work out. Unfortunately, that did end Cliff's night. Good friend of mine. Just would like to see him have some better luck here. Ron Simpson hitting the brakes. Make sure he doesn't collide. Rob Keller, Danny Hardy in the 03. There's the 66. But anyway, green flag stops commenced once we actually got going. There's me coming out of the pits. Almost get into Danny Rubino leaving the pit stall, but I avoided that. Don't want to ruin his night. Green flag stops were pretty good. Pit crew was good for me. I was really happy about that. Then we had another caution. See, Ricky Bumbelow in the 85 spun his tires coming to the green. Checked up in front of everybody. Big melee. I remember having to hit the brakes hard into it without actually, what's the word I'm looking for? Skidding out. So making sure they don't lock the brakes up. But there I am in the 37 trying to get around the 22. The caution did not come out for a while. There was another driver who actually spun that made the caution come out. For some reason, it did not come out for the 85 of Ricky Bumbelow. But I, in a way, I have to say I'm biased because I'm happy it didn't. I got some good position out of it. Here I am racing with the 51 of Roger Nebelzik. I can't pronounce names for the life of me. But we put on a pretty good show. He was struggling in practice. And when it came time to race, he found something that worked for him. So good for him. We put on a good show. Here he is passing the 66 of Brett Carter, I believe it is. Rob Keller behind me in the McDonald's Mustang. It was a really good race. And we had this nice little pack back here, led by Kevin Roy. Now we see the last couple laps here. We'll move ahead. If you want to watch the full race, you can go on their channel and watch it. But Herman Reese here and the 29 in the 73, getting around the 029, hard into the corner here. Very good racing. This is on the white flag lap. Now here they are for 2. down the backstretch, side by side. Look at that. That is good racing, right? Into turn 3, still side by side. Coming out of turn 4. Actually, there's one more left to go. This is for the white flag. Now they're going to come down, racing each other now. The 029 drafting, trying to get that draft help because the draft was very important. So here's Kayla Jules trying to get it. Draft, as I said, draft was very important at this track. You were not fast unless you were in the draft. But he's given Herman Reese the run for his life here. But Herman's car was just so hooked up all night. There was no getting around it. And here they come, right off of turn 4. Final time. Herman Reese will be your winner for the Hobo Racing League race at Michigan. Thanks to Vols Trucking for sponsoring the events, to have us have these live races, and special thank you to the Full Velocity Racing Network for putting these on. Okay, y'all, there's the clips of the race. It was very good. Thank you to Phil Lacasse, Todd Stanton, Brian Voiles for sponsoring the event. You can watch the full race on their channel still. If you go to the last video I did, the link is in the description, and it's also even in the comment section if you want to watch the full race. Very good race. Very little cautions. I think there was like 4 or 5. I know I left a couple out because I wanted to keep it short. But very, very good race. Can't say it enough. I had a good time. I kept that car clean. Clean! That's first time in a while I kept my race car clean. So thank you to them again. Thank you to the Hobo Racing League for wonderful racing and putting on a good show all the time. So anyway, I'd like to thank Route 1 Auto Service out of Peabody, Massachusetts. Open Monday to Friday to 8 a.m. from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call them at 978-532-4001 if you want good quality service on your vehicle. Thank again to Full Velocity Racing Network, TDRRacing.net, and Hobo Racing League for all your esports racing needs. So if you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. Full Throttle with the Gent this weekend's up in the air. We'll see what happens. If there is a modified race, which I believe there may be, either Friday or Saturday, I will talk about it. This Friday, I turn 30. It's my birthday. So we'll see what happens. Now I'm going to be 30 years old. I still can't fathom it. I don't like that fact. We'll see what happens. So anyway, like, share, and subscribe if you like what you see here. Sponsorship opportunities are available. $10 a month for the show. Get your name out. Your logo is on the screen at all times, like it is with Route 1 Auto Service. So try to help me out. If you don't want to do that, check out the links below for Patreon. Got some t-shirts available and all this stuff. So just trying to, grow this and make a career out of it. NASCAR news and whatnot. So far, so good. Thanks to Corey LaJoy again for my first NASCAR Cup interview. Thank you to Doug Kobe, Eric Gooddale, Jamie Tomano, and Jimmy Blewett for interviews with them at the NASCAR Wheel and Modified race at Wall Stadium in May. I'm still very grateful. Working on more interviews. I know I am. And I'm taking up a lot of time to end this. Y'all, I'm done. Have a good day.